Protesters smacking down over calls to keep taxes from going up, rallying outside the office of Grover Norquist, the man behind the No New Taxes Pledge. Sorry guys, Grover is not there. The president of Americans for Tax Reform is with me right here. He's not exactly seeking refuge on this set, but he is in New York with us. Grover, welcome.
Doing well. Good to be here.
I want to get real clear what you stand for.
Sure.
No new taxes. Got that?
Yes.
Now, how about this notion of tax reform, which he has raised?
Yeah.
And by that he means, I believe he means, get rid of some deductions, lower tax rates, that's tax reform, and that would bring in more revenue to the government down the road. Are you okay with that?
Yes. It's for tax reform that brings in more revenue because the economy grows. That's what we want. That's the goal. That's what Reagan did in '86. The group I run, Americans for Tax Reform, was set up by the Reagan administration. They asked me to run it in order to enact the '86 bill. In order to make it pass at the end of the day, I developed the Taxpayer Protection Pledge, which 100 congressmen and 20 senators took, and that way we knew that once you lowered the rates and broadened the base, they weren't going to creep those rates back up again. We had a defense against that.
Now, Democrat Senator Mark Pryor on the show 20 minutes ago, right here, he said, look, it's Grover Norquist and that tax pledge. That's what's getting in the way of an agreement, a bipartisan agreement, to deal with our tax mess. He's blaming you. You are an unpopular guy.
He and some others, Harry Reid does the same thing. They say, oh, the pledge gets in the way of an agreement. Finish the sentence. The pledge gets in the way of an agreement that raises $1 trillion in taxes. Obama has wanted tax reform that included $1.5 trillion in taxes. I ran into Senator Kerry in the middle of those debate discussions at the end of last year, and I said, what is it you guys want? And he said, another $1 trillion in higher taxes as part of tax reform. I'm for tax reform without the Trojan horse tax increase.
Your tax pledge, no new taxes. That
no
pledge
tax increase,
is a tax rate increase. You can't have that.
Right.
And you can't have any messing around with the tax system which results in an immediate increase in revenue to the Treasury. You don't mind that increase in revenue down the road if it's the result of economic growth.
Growth, yes.
That's all you will go with.
Yeah.
So,
just like the '86 tax bill, the reform that Reagan had, we ought to do that again. Drop the rates, broaden the base, revenue neutral.
And you're not going to negotiate over this. This is a non-negotiable pledge, period.
The pledge is taken by 238 members of the House, a majority, and the pledge is not to me. The pledge is to the voters and the American people, that they will vote against all efforts to raise taxes.
When did they write the pledge? When did they sign the pledge? How long ago?
Well, the pledge was created as part of to pass in 1986. However, the people who've taken the pledge now are people who were elected 2 years ago, 4 years ago. These are people who've taken the pledge when they got elected.
Do you think some of them want to sort of renegotiate the pledge to be a bit more flexible?
Well, there are one or two who are tempted to have impure thoughts about tax. Very impure thoughts, yes. But the good news is none of them have acted on these impure thoughts. They just have them every once in a while. And once or twice the press gets them to confess that they have impure thoughts. But no Republican has voted for a net tax increase, I think, going back to 1990.
Now, come January the 1st of next year, if nothing changes, we're going to get hit with a $500 billion tax increase coming at us in various forms.
Year one, $500 billion.
$500 billion. Now, some of that is likely to happen, isn't it? Maybe it's $100 billion, maybe it's $50 billion, maybe it's $400 billion. I don't know. But I think you would agree with me. Some of that is likely to happen.
Let me make the counter-argument that none of it's going to happen. And the reason is the Republicans will hold the House. They have a 25-person advantage right now. There are another 13 that they're going to pick up, and they're not going to lose enough to lose the House. Because of redistricting, the Republicans will hold the House, not just this election, but for the next 10 years. Then you go into the Senate. The Republicans need to gain 4 to get a majority. There are 23 Democrat Senate seats up. Half of them are very vulnerable, largely in Republican states, North Dakota, Nebraska, Montana, Virginia, Missouri.
You think the Republicans take the White House?
If Romney wins, they will stop all of those tax increases. If Obama wins, we get them all. This is the first election where you can actually look somebody in the eye and say, vote for Obama, $400 billion tax increase next year. Vote for Romney, that won't happen.
Grover Norquist, a powerful and, in some quarters, unpopular man, but you're welcome here in New York, Grover. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Forget higher fares. Our commuters about to get zapped, and I mean literally. Look at that.
Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. That's 36,000 miles.